Alrighty, so today for math we are we're working with picture graphs. So we'll be working on Unit 13, Lesson 4. Okay, so our objective today I will draw picture graphs to represent data and answer questions about the data. Okay, so we're going to be actually gathering our own data. So in the previous lessons that Ms. Diaz did with you, they already had given you the data. So remember from lesson, I think it was 1, it told you let's see, it told you the data, right? It told you 2 books measured 9 inches, 5 books measured 18 inches, 1 book, and so on and so forth. In this lesson, you're going to actually gather your own data. So you're going to have to ask your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your nieces, nephews, your brothers and sisters, people around your house, their opinions or their vote on certain topics. Okay, so that you can gather their data and then you're going to transfer it to a picture graph. So a picture graph, this is what a picture graph looks like. Okay, so it goes from left to right. You have the title up at the top. So in this example, it has we're talking about our favorite pets. So right here's our data, right? So imagine that you walked around your classroom and you asked your friends, what is your favorite pet? Okay, and so 3 people, that's why there's 3 tally marks, said dogs. 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, is 5 people said cats, and then 2 people said fish. So down here, there's our favorite pets title. Then you have our category labels, which is right here. They just transferred it down here. And then they used a symbol or a picture to represent each vote. In this case, they drew a circle. Each circle equals 1 vote. Okay? All right. So our steps. Step number 1 says to read or gather the data. So in this case, again, you're gathering your data. Number 2 says to draw and label the graph. So here's our graph. You need to draw your graph and label it. Okay, add your labels. And then number 3 is to make a key. Number 4 is to fill in the data. So transfer the data from your tally marks to your picture graph. And then use the data or graph to answer questions. All right. Number 1. Well, first of all, the directions say to create graphs and then answer questions. Number 1. It says to survey the class about their favorite game. Example, tag, kickball, handball, cards. Okay. Now you need to gather your data. So again, unfortunately, because we're not in our classroom, you can't ask your friends unless you can text them or you call them, ask your parents, or maybe you have friends next door that you can ask. The key here is to ask multiple people. Okay, you don't want to walk away not having any tally marks at all. You have to have several. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to create the numbers so that I can show you how to transfer it. Okay, so I'm going to say that 4 people around my house chose tag. 6 people chose kickball. 3 people chose handball. And 2 people chose cards. Okay, that's my step number 1. I had to gather data. Step number 2 says to draw and label the graph. Well, they already have it drawn and labeled. All I need to, so I can just skip that step right there. Later on, when you have to do these for yourselves, you're going to have to do it for yourself. You're going to have to know that you have to draw a box, put the title in, and insert the labels. Okay. Step number 3, make a key. Well, they already have a key down here. So it tells me that each star equals 1 vote. Okay, so for tag, how many votes do I need to have? Do I have? I have 4 votes. So how many stars am I going to do? If each star equals 1 vote and there's 4 votes, I need to do 4 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, kickball, there's 6. I need to do 6 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Handball, there's 3. 1, 2, 3. And cards, there's 2. 1, 2. Okay. So now I just want you to understand that each vote gets each symbol on here because it is equal to 1. Okay? All right. Moving on. Number 2. Fill in the picture graph categorizing the games as indoor games or outdoor games. Okay, so look at this. This question right here is based on number 1. They want you to know, they want you to answer, they want you to take the data from the first one and categorize it into these 2 categories. Okay, so how they want you to figure out what the game is, if it's indoor or outdoor. Is tag indoor or outdoor? So again, you sorry, I had to pause it because I had to sneeze, and I didn't want to have to do it during the video, so I paused this. All right, so again, we are categorizing our activities or our games into 2 categories: indoor or outdoor. So is tag indoor or outdoor? Outdoor, right? Because you're not going to be doing tag inside. And how many votes does it have? 4. So in this picture graph, we used stars. In this one, we use squares. So tag is 4, got 4 votes. So I need to put 4 squares right here for outdoor. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they're solid, so I'm going to color them in. Kickball is also outdoors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm trying to make them small because I have a large number of votes. If you have smaller number of votes, then you don't need to make them that small. But I just want to make sure that they all fit. Okay. Handball, is that indoor or outdoor? Outdoor. And there were 3 votes, so I did 3 squares. And cards, you're probably going to play indoors, right? 1, 2. All right. So I want you to look at this data. Okay, look at data. The reason why we usually collect data is to do a comparison, right? We do a comparison, so we need to find what's similar and what's different. Usually, you're going to be asked questions like, which activity or which type of game is more popular? Outdoor or indoor? Outdoor, right? So does that mean which type of game do students like to play the most? Or do people at my house like to play the most? Outdoor, right? And which one do they like to play the least? Indoor. Okay, most means it has the most amount of votes. Least is they have the least amount of votes. All right. When we get deeper into graphing and comparing data, you're probably going to have to they're going to ask how many more students like outdoor activities than indoor activities. Okay, in that case, you need to subtract numbers. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 votes for outdoor, and 2 votes for indoor. So 13 minus 2 is 11. Okay, there are 11 more students that like outdoor activities than indoor. Okay, all right. So that's that. I want you to get your structured guided practice done and your final check for understanding, and that is it for your math today. Okay, so again, you need to collect your data from people around your home. Hopefully there are enough people around for you to ask. If there are only a couple of people, then come up with your own numbers. I would stick to numbers less than 5 or 10, only because I don't want you to run out of space down here and panic. Okay, so today all you're practicing is gathering the data based on whatever activity they're asking you to or whatever topic they're asking you to collect data on, and then transferring it based on whatever symbol is given. Pay attention to the symbol, please. Okay, so if they're asking you to use an X for 1 vote and there are 3 votes, how many X's are going to use? 3. What if there's 6 votes? How many X's are you going to use? 6. Okay, make sure that you are using the correct symbol and the correct amount of symbols based on what data you put. All right, guys, get going.